So this is what we call the Conscious Leadership Ladder, and we basically designed this to enable leaders to actually get a true understanding of where they are in terms of their leadership style and abilities, and enable them to actually hit their potential a lot more quickly and rapidly. The way that we really helped to create this was to really understand what are the unconscious blocks that hold us back from our potential. As you probably know, many people have limiting beliefs and things that sit underneath the surface that we're not aware of that prevent us from actually hitting our potential. So, it might be something, you might be carrying a lot of grief in your life, and you sort of go to work every day not understanding why it is that you're not actually able to sit at the level of, I suppose, prosperity and leadership that you'd like to be. But when you have negative emotions that are holding you back, or beliefs and patterns that have manifested over your lifetime and throughout your life, they can actually, below the surface, have a really big impact on your ability to lead and manifest the kind of leadership style that you'd like to do. So in order to help people understand that and overcome that, we created what's called the Conscious Leadership Ladder. What this does is, I'll take you through it, it actually enables you to get a little bit more clarity on what are some of the things that might be holding you back. It helps you identify where you are and also where you could be. We use this in all of the sessions that we work with leaders in to enable them to pinpoint really where they sit, which takes a little bit of getting honest and real with yourself, and then we can from there look at where they really could be. So I'll just take you through it really briefly. So basically the first thing that we start with is, how do you see other people around you? And when I say other people around you, it might be people that you work with, people that you live with, people that have an impact on your life. So for example, if we look at people around you, and if you look down here at the orange at number 2, and the word anger pops up at you. So basically what this means is you might sort of be noticing there's a lot of angry people in your environment, in your workplace, etc., and it might be something that's standing out for you. If this is something that you're experiencing, what we then do is we look at what's the reflection of that? How does that actually impact you? How is you seeing that perception? What's actually underneath that within you? So we move over to here, which we call the mirror, which is what you see in others is a reflection of you. So if in fact you are experiencing a lot of anger around you, people with anger issues, etc., it actually means that there's a part of you that is feeling angry that you may not be consciously aware of. Okay, this might be difficult for some people to accept, but in all of the work that we've done over the many years, this has been a very, very consistent theme. So once we look at that, we go, okay, so what's the hidden truth below this anger that we're experiencing? There's always a belief of some sort that's causing and guiding this emotion. So in this particular case, what's actually going on is that there's a part of you that unconsciously believes that you're unlovable. So there's a part of you that's really not worthy of feeling joy and happiness and being the leader that you want to be. So what this does is it enlightens us to see what are the things that are really going on underneath the surface. So a lot of the times in terms of anger, the belief is that you're unlovable, and the view of yourself unconsciously is often that you're very hurt. So a lot of people that see other people as angry are actually angry because they actually don't feel lovable on some deep, deep level, and then as a result they're walking around feeling really quite hurt. And this obviously is something that you don't just experience when you go home at night, but it sits in your energy all day long and while you're at work. So typically what we find is that people that see themselves as hurt on an unconscious level, the way that impacts their leadership style and the kind of leader that this can make them is someone that's actually quite intimidating. So when you're hurt, you actually go into a state of defensiveness, which in turn gets manifested through assertiveness. And because the assertiveness is coming from some level of anger, that this can actually mean that we come across as quite intimidating. Now what the real problem is a lot of the time we don't realise that this is how we're coming across, or this is what our leadership style is. So it takes looking at something like this and working with a practitioner that understands this model and is experienced to actually help elucidate that for you. It's really of great benefit because once you know that, then you have the power to do something about it. If you're unaware of it, you can't do much. So we've taken people from these lower numbers down here in the 1s and 2s right up to the higher states. So basically, we've had clients come in on the level of experiencing a lot of anger and around them and within them, to being able to actually perceive everybody around them as valuable. What this does is that the reflection underneath that is that actually I'm beautiful. So when you're able to see the value in others, it actually means you're finally able to see it in yourself. So the unconscious belief then becomes I am valuable. And obviously when you feel truly of value on all levels of your consciousness, what what you actually experience in terms of yourself is gratitude. Now, these sort of emotions and belief systems are what create inspirational leaders. So it might sound very common and very obvious, but actually understanding where you are on this map and where you potentially could be is something that requires a little bit of, I suppose, work with a therapist or someone that understands. And what we do is we actually enable you to release the anger, release all of the blocks, and very rapidly take you up this map. So that not only do you get to identify your potential, but you also get to reach it. This is one of the ways that we work with our clients. So if you find this of interest, just send me a message and we can send you out a copy of it.